In the middle of the village of Haripur, there grew a great and ancient banyan tree. Its trunk was so wide that 10 children holding hands could not circle it, and its leafy branches spread out so far that they shaded half the village square. That tree was the very heart of Haripur. Under its cool green shade, old folk dozed and children played. In its branches lived 100 chattering birds and squirrels. Travelers rested beneath it, weary feet finding shelter from the blazing sun. And of all the village, the one who loved the great banyan most was a little girl named Tara. But one day, a rich timber merchant came riding into Haripur. He looked up at the magnificent old banyan, and his eyes gleamed with greed. What a tree! Why, the wood in that giant would build 100 fine houses. I will give you this whole bag of gold coins, headman, if you let my men chop it down and carry it away. The headman's eyes went wide at the heavy bag of gold. He scratched his chin. One down. A whole bag of gold. We could do so much with that. It is, after all, only a tree. No, cried a small voice. It was Tara, pushing to the front. Please, headman, you must not cut down our banyan tree. And why not, little girl? It is only old wood. Tara stood up as tall as she could. It is not only wood. That tree gives us cool shade all through the burning summer. It gives a home to all the birds and squirrels. It gives us fruit and clean, fresh air to breathe. Its great roots hold the soil together, so the rains do not wash our land away. The gold will be spent and gone in a year, but the tree gives and gives and gives for 100 years. Please, you cannot sell what gives us life. But the headman shook his head. You are only a child, Tara. You do not understand the value of gold. Bring your men in the morning. Tara's heart sank. But that night, she thought, and in the morning, before the axes came, she ran to the headman with a plan. Headman, before you cut our tree, will you come with me? Just once to see the village of Sukapur beyond the hill? Only come and see. Then decide. To humor the child, the headman agreed, and the curious villagers came too. Together they walked over the hill to Sukapur, and there they all fell silent. For Sukapur was a sad and barren place. Long ago, its people had cut down all their trees and sold the wood for gold. And now? Now there was no shade anywhere, and the sun beat down cruelly. The land was cracked and dusty and brown. Hot, dry winds blew clouds of dust through empty streets. There were no birds singing, not one. The wells had run dry, and the few villagers who remained sat listless and sorrowful in the heat. An old man of Sukapur saw them staring, and he sighed. Ah, you have trees still, in Haripur? Then guard them with your lives. We sold ours for a handful of gold, long ago. The gold was gone within a year, but this is what we were left with forever. Would that we had listened to our children. The people of Haripur looked at one another, and a cold shiver ran through them. Slowly, the headman turned and looked down at little Tara, and he understood, at last, all that she had tried to tell him. They hurried home, and when the timber merchant arrived with his men and their sharp axes, the headman stood before the great banyan tree with his arms spread wide. Take your gold and go. Our tree is not for sale. Not for 1 bag of gold, nor for 100. It is worth far more than all of it. The merchant scowled, snatched up his gold, and rode away grumbling, and the whole village cheered. But Haripur did not stop there. Inspired by Tara, every man, woman, and child took up a little sapling, and together they planted 100 young trees all around the village. They watered them and tended them, and watched over them as they grew. And the years went by, and Haripur became the greenest, coolest, most beautiful village in all the land, a place of deep shade and birdsong and sweet clean air, with the great old banyan still standing proudly at its heart. People came from far and wide just to sit beneath its branches, and even Sad Sukapur, hearing of it, began to plant trees of its own once more. So remember, dear children, care for the trees, the rivers, and the good green earth. Never destroy them for a quick handful of gold. For nature gives to us, freely, all our lives, and if we protect her, she will always protect us. This is today's story. We'll meet again in another interesting story.